Inside Racing is brought to you by Dunlop.
Engine noise and fast cars on a racetrack. In itself, nothing unusual for motorsport fans. Yet at this event, something's different. Watching on, it seems as though you've gone back several decades. And that's also the idea. The FHR Endurance Cup is a race series for historic GT and touring cars from 1946 to 71, and it's the biggest long-distance historic car race series in the world. 48 teams are taking part, driving true gems as they contest the championship over 7 races in Germany, Holland and Belgium. And anyone thinking they compete with kid gloves would be well wide of the mark. Even in qualifying, they fight tooth and nail. Doesn't that leave the owners in a cold sweat, worrying about their classic treasures?
You have 2 choices. You either put the car in a museum and polish it, or you take it out and use it as it should be used. So, no problem.
Also, no problem, the lack of any modern motor racing facilities like workshop trucks or a comfortable crew zone. The pit garage is on the grass or on the road right outside your own caravan. All fine as long as the weather's good.
Richtig, mehr braucht man nicht, ne? Ist schon immer so gewesen.
Correct, you don't need anything else. It's always been this way. We've not got any big tent or catering. We do everything here and it still works okay. We practically built the car from scratch, all our own work, every bolt, every spot of paint, the electrics, everything. And since then we've been driving and tinkering away together and drinking the odd beer or 2. That's the great fun about it. You're a team. The women come along and we all have a lovely weekend.
Man verbringt ein schönes Wochenende.
To have a lovely weekend, some of the teams travel from far away. From Great Britain, Luxembourg, Sweden and even Poland, where the classic car racing scene is only just starting up.
We do not have a typical classic car racing scene in Poland, not having too many racetracks. It's only one which is open for the races, so it's not easy.
Ahead of the race, the cars get worked on and the engines roar. Here it's the drivers themselves who get stuck in. Sometimes with brute force, sometimes with a delicate chef's touch. There's just one thing here they don't have to worry about themselves. As of this year, the Cup sponsor is giving the teams significant on-site support. The on-site service is a wonderful thing for us. We have nothing to do with fitting and balancing tires anymore. Dunlop does all of that for us. It's a great weight off our shoulders. Total concentration, therefore, on the retro endurance run. The tires are simply dropped off as necessary at the service station. The rules stipulate that the cars run on historic tires, true to the originals, but they need servicing just as much as modern racing counterparts. Then, finally, the start. For 3 hours, the drivers thrash their cars around the track, wrestling fiercely to move up the field. But for all the fighting spirit, due respect has to be paid to the age of the cars.
You always have to watch the oil temperature, the water temperature. On a long race, a 3-hour race, you have to protect the brakes because they may not last.
Second gear! Second!
Despite all that, sometimes things don't go to plan. Be it a minor repair at a pit stop. We've got some spares, maybe it'll work after all. Or a driver mishap for the leader just short of the finish. Hopes of victory dashed and the Porsche 914 6 GT properly crocked. That hurts twice as much. Overall victory goes to car number 11, a Lotus Elan S2, the drivers torn between joy and surprise. People used to say that a Lotus Elan would only last 3 laps, it'll never finish. But we've now been hammering this thing for hours. A Lotus Elan like this never breaks down. Personally, we're as thrilled as little kids. I mean, we never grow up anyway, we just get older. No problem. After all, everything here revolves around old-timers. And they get even better with age.
Inside Racing was brought to you by Dunlop.